Right, look at this Zanotti uniblock system. Customers reported it's cycling on and off, not maintaining temperature, so we've advised them to turn it off in the meantime. So that's the evaporator fan, that's the compressor, and the condenser fans actually run off a pressure switch. So we may either switch click, then that might be the head pressure switch for the fan. Let's get the screwdriver out and give that a spin. It's either going to be high pressure or low pressure, then if it's cycling. There's not a lot going on there. The condenser's getting very hot, the condenser's underneath, so that fan should be going. Careful with these, I don't want it to fire up and going to go. That is yeah, it's probably a high pressure switch. Right, let's turn that off. We're going to have to get a tester on there, see if either the fan motor's failed or maybe the fan pressure switch has failed. Right, that's the cover off. Got the compressor, condenser at the bottom, compressor sat above it with the hot gas defrost and the cooling solenoids. There's your pressure switch for the fan. Now I did hear that a click as I was taking the cover off, which may well have been that resetting. And then that's that one there is the high pressure safety switch. I'm not even sure if these have got a low pressure switch. They might not even have one. So anyway, we've either got to take the cover off of that or get into this box here. All the wire terminals are on the top in that little top hat section. Might be easier just to take the cover off the pressure switch at the moment. See what's going on in there. Make sure that's switching first. Right, we've got that set up. Right, we should have power on one of these. Power on that one. Yeah, that switch is made, so we've got nothing. The switch is working, so we need to get a bit further into this and make sure the power's actually getting to the fan. Might have a failed motor. Usually if it's a capacitor they'll get going once you've spun them a bit. Right, that's the electrics box, got the controller on the front panel, contact for the compressor, capacitors and relay for the compressor, and then down the bottom we've got the capacitor for the condenser fan and one for the evaporator fan. The screws on there are a pain to get to, so I've got this little ratchet that uses 1/4" hex bits. Probably loose enough now on the second one. That one's actually loose. Right, we can probably get them out with the fingers now. Right, that's the 5 microfarad capacitor, and it's only reading 1.2. So we'll get that changed, and we check this one's a 2. And I think this is the evaporator fan, and I think that's the condenser fan. So we'd get that changed, and then we'd check that one. Right, that's the 2 microfarad one. It's reading 400 nanofarads, which is I'm not 100% sure, but that might be half a microfarad. I'm not really sure on the graduations. It could even be less than that. But we'll change this one as well, and then we'll keep our fingers crossed because this is a shipping container full of frozen food. So, and we might be on a 3-hour round trip to the wholesalers to pick a fan motor up if that's not going to work. Right, let's get this changed. See what it does. Right, we've got the new capacitors in there, all cable tied in. Oh, got it turned off on here as well. Belts and braces. There we go. That's on. That's the evaporator fan. That's that one. That's the head pressure switch. We're not pulling any amperage on there. So it's not looking good for the fan motor. Hang on. The switch is not very good. We need to check we've got power on those terminals really, but I've got the clamp meter around the neutral wire, so if the motor was pulling power and not pulling current and not turning, we'd have seen the meter move. Right, let's try again. I think the brown wire is our capacitor, and I think this one here, the black wire, I think is our live. Volts on that one, 200 on that capacitor, that's our neutral. So it's looking like we're getting power there. We'll just check. I'll put the 2 leads across the live and neutral just to make sure we haven't lost the neutral, but I think the fan motor's failed. Hopefully that'll buy us some time. It's just warm, so it's not too hot, so it's condensing okay. It's brought that down. It was on 6 point something when it fired up, so it took a degree and a half out of it. Just need to tie this onto there, put a strap around it or something. It's -12, it was -6.9 or something when I first turned it on. That's our liquid line. It's warm, it's not too warm and it's not too cold, so we don't want to take too much heat out of it or else it won't do any work. That should be okay. Suction line's nice and cool. Hopefully that'll keep them going till tomorrow.